Hello. So I have tried a lot of buttermilk pie recipes, and my husband is basically my taste tester. One that is our favorite, and this actually is a recipe by a dear neighbor who we used to have, and unfortunately she passed away, I think in 2021. And she was just the sweetest. She shared this with us, and we've been baking it every year, multiple times a year. I do add coconut to it, so it becomes a coconut buttermilk pie, but it is super easy. You mix it in your blender. It's a third a cup of butter, a half a cup of biscuit mix. So easy. A cup of buttermilk, 1.5 cups sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 3 eggs, and you blend it all up. You bake it on 350 degrees for 50 minutes. I do add in a cup of coconut after I blend it. I do not blend the coconut, I just stir that in. And I have a ready-made pie shell. I did not make a homemade one this time. Sometimes you don't have time for that. I do have time for that, but I don't want to. So we're going to make this up. So the first thing we'll do, I'm gonna just dump all this stuff in here, and I'm not gonna make you watch all of that. I guess I could, right? So I did defrost my butter because it was a little hard, so I defrosted it in the microwave. I know there's other tricks that you can do to get it melted. But if you do warm your butter up, you don't want to put your eggs in right away because they can cook your eggs. So I will put in the other ingredients and let those cool down before I add in my eggs. So the eggs will probably go last and they'll go on top. So here's my buttermilk. You can use whatever biscuit mix brand that you like. I use Mexican vanilla. We really like the flavor of that. And yeah, so give me a minute, I'll be right back. Here we go, let's chop it up. So mine has a food chop, so it rotates a little bit differently. And then I'll switch it up. I don't want to put a ton of air into it, which is why I'm not having it go high spinning. There were no instructions like that, it's just something that I do. And if you don't have buttermilk, you can add a little bit of white vinegar to milk. And when I say a little bit, I mean like a tablespoon of vinegar to a cup of milk. And that can substitute for your buttermilk. All right, so I have some sugar on the side. I'm gonna scrape it down and then we'll, oh yeah. Then we will get it going on high or to medium high to mix it up some more. And then we'll get the coconut in. So let's go to okay, I know. My husband calls me a dork. One time I told him, well, you're a K-Rod. And he said, what's a K-Rod? I said, it's dork spelled backwards. Dork spelled backwards. And he said, only a dork would say that. And I'm okay. Any other fellow dorks out there? You have to be silly. Life is too serious all the time. And sometimes you just gotta be fun and silly. So I just dumped about a cup of coconut in here. It's a good idea to take it off of the stand so you don't accidentally turn it on. So there are a couple of big chunks, and I'm just stirring it up, making sure that those chunks of coconut are not chunks anymore. Ooh, that's a big one. And I do store my coconut in the refrigerator once I open the package, which is probably why it clumps a little bit. All right, so There we go. This is one of my Pampered Chef pie stoneware. And I really like the way it bakes, and it doesn't tend to spill over. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Things didn't go as planned. So I have some stuff that is not mixed on the bottom. And you know what? I don't want to put a lot of coconut in here, but I want to get that out. So I think it's mostly like sugar and Joyce. A slotted spoon is not going to work. Well, I guess it could, but I'm trying to not get the coconut. You know, things don't always go perfectly when you're baking. They don't for me, and I'm okay with that. You just go to plan B. Sometimes I get in too much of a hurry. So let's do this real quick. It's mostly sugar down there that was kind of stuck, but there could have been some of the biscuit mix, and that's going to be kind of my thickening agent, so I need it. Okay, that's good. So we'll pour it in here, and then I will gently mix it in, because I don't want it just to be in the center where it's being poured. Yeah, I'm sure all the professional cooks are out there. First of all, not watching this, and second of all, if they happen upon it, they're probably shaking their head. But you know what? Us regular cooks, it's okay. Life is a series of mistakes, and we learn from them. Why am I sounding philosophical? I'm the least philosophical person. All right, let's stick this in the oven, 50 minutes, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. I'm excited. Well, I got so excited, I forgot to put the timer on. So thank goodness I videoed and it gave me a timestamp. So normally, because I have a gas oven, I rotate my pie pan by 180 degrees so it can brown more evenly. My gas oven does not cook evenly, so I have to take that extra step. So I didn't turn it till 40 minutes in instead of at the 25-minute mark. But I think it still looks okay, and we'll pull it out here in about 12 more minutes. All right, I put in an extra 2 minutes, but we're gonna take a quick look. Oh, it smells so good. I'm shaking it to see if it's wiggly. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the last 2 minutes. Here we go. It's perfect. Thanks for coming along with my baking adventure. As my dad used to say every time he called and left us a voicemail, bye for now.